Welcome to Daggerheart, where the monsters aren't just hungry, they're the main course. In today's adventure, your only line of defense is a really sharp butter knife and a recipe for ooze marrow flambe. And yes, if you thought you'd escape fantasy cooking minigames, think again. This is Beast Feast, the campaign where every fight ends in a potluck, and your party's most overpowered weapon might just be a rolling pin. Roll initiative, and don't forget to preheat the oven. What is Beast Feast? Picture this. A rusted, slightly overcooked village called Elmore, perched above the Plover Caves. A tangled labyrinth of dangerous and yes, delightfully edible monsters. When Elmore's magical monster defense spell goes kaput, the bravest villagers have to descend into the caves below to reignite the magic, save the day, and whip up a few Michelin star monstrosities along the way. Beast Feast is a culinary adventure, with a tone that's absurd, comedic, creepy, fun, and silly. Think Delicious in Dungeon meets Monster Hunter World, with a dash of One Piece for flavour. The themes? Circle of life, friendship and loyalty, nature's bounty, overcoming fear, and the eternal struggle of violence versus peace. Basically, if you've ever wanted to defeat your anxieties by deep frying them, this is your campaign. How the campaign starts. Let's get you hungry for plot. Centuries ago, a wizard named Hylias whipped up the magic lure, a spell that draws all dangerous beasts into the Plover Caves, keeping Elmore safe and sound. Fast forward to now, the lure's fading, the caves are packed with every weird creature imaginable, and the villagers are more worried about their stew pot festival than being eaten alive. That is, until the beloved halfling mayor Doug Dougal gets chomped during his morning hike. That's right, Elmore's finest are farmers, bakers, cobblers, and weavers, not a sword welder in sight. If you're going to save the town, you'll have to pick up a kitchen utensil and pray it does D12 damage. Here's your hook. The local alchemist, Karut, begs the party to hunt down ghost scorpion venom to make a spicy paste that'll keep the monsters at bay. So into the endless Plover Caves you go, following the scent of jasmine through the shallows. And, fair warning, if you ever smell lavender, run. Who are you? Every PC in Beast Feast is a humble villager. Think, I was the florist yesterday, but today I'm making dire ostrich cutlets with a sharpened rake. Not every community is a perfect fit for Elmore, but that's where your backstory comes in. Maybe you're a lore-born scholar, come to study the ecosystem, a ridge-born mountaineer, nostalgic for open skies, or an underborn native who thinks sour ants are a delicacy. Did you leave a life of crime as a sly-born and settle down for some peace? Work it in. Ancestries also have their quirks. Clanks eat organic matter but can't taste food, so maybe they just love the art of plating. Fungril can literally hear mushrooms scream, so good luck making risotto down here. And as for classes, yes, you can play a spellcaster or a martial, but ask yourself, why does a peaceful cobbler know how to cast arcane buttercream blast? Or why did the chef invest in a sledgehammer proficiency? The answer is probably because the stew pot festival gets wild, okay? The Plover Caves, culinary dungeon crawl. Let's talk environment. The Plover Caves aren't your average dark and dank tunnels. They're a full ecosystem, hundreds of miles, wild biomes, weird weather. Follow the birdsong of piping plovers, the only creatures who can navigate the tunnels without getting lost. And get ready for the windstorms, bioluminescent lakes, flooding from weeping sky flowers, and the constant risk of finding out the cave floor is actually pudding. Every layer goes deeper, gets weirder, and the deeper you go, the tastier and deadlier the creatures get. There's even a restaurant chain called Berries down there. Because in this world, every adventurer wants takeout after fighting an angler squid. Slay, fillet, and feast, the main mechanic. Now for the crunchy bits. In Beast Feast, you don't just loot corpses, you harvest dinner. Every beast you slay, or gently persuade into a stew, provides ingredients. The bigger the beast's hit points, the more ingredients you get. The flavour, that's up to the GM. And the weirdness is off the charts. Dire bear meat is pure savoury, ooze marrow is sweet and bitter, and ogre kidney stone is apparently sweet and weird, which raises more question than answers. Every ingredient has a flavour profile. 1 to 3 flavours, each with a die size. The stronger the flavour, the more dice you get of that type. As you adventure, you fill your pockets, and aprons, with edible loot. Cave boar milk, ancient dragon saliva, wild root, you name it. There's even a D20 table for random ingredient body parts. wings, stones, secretion. If it wiggles or oozes, it's probably going in the stew. The cookbook, your table's edible legacy. Here's the genius bit. Your party shares a literal cookbook. Bring a notebook, decorate it, and after every session, record your signature dishes. Write the recipe, name the beast, the cooking method, and how it tasted, and who threw up. If you repeat a flavor profile, you even get bonus tokens for future cooking roles. Yes, you're speedrunning culinary synergy, making a feast, and how the mechanics work. During downtime, instead of the usual rest moves, your group gathers around the campfire for a group cooking session. Make a feast. Here's the recipe for delicious mechanics. Pull your ingredients. Everyone throws something in. Erase the ingredients from your inventory. What happens in the stew stays in the stew. Roll the flavor dice. Each flavor adds its associated dice, so a Daggerheart meat, savory 3, means 3d12. Mushroom caps, savory 2, bitter 1, add 2d12 and 1d8, etc. Look for the matches. Any 2 or more dice that match go off to the side. Keep rolling. If no matches, discard a die and roll again. Repeat until there's only 1 die left. Add up sets. Every set of matching dice gets totaled. That's your meal rating. You can split this meal rating however you want among clearing hit points, stress, or gaining hope. With a big enough stew, everyone's healing, de-stressing, and finding hope at the bottom of the pot. And if you make the same dish you've made before, toss in tokens for more chances. Master a flavor combo, and you're basically running an underground Michelin-starred support group. Weapons of mass destruction from your pantry. Forget the longswords. Your tier 1 starting gear is all kitchenware and farm tools, cleavers, butcher's axes, pitchforks, rolling pins, and even enchanted brooms and exploding potions. Yes, literal firework launcher. Armor? Try a leather apron, tree bark, or an actual baking tray breastplate. Forget chainmail. You want that +1 to evasion from a nice, quilted oven mitt. Flavor dice, blooms, and advanced ingredients. Not every ingredient comes from a monster. You can spend hope to forage for blooms, special edible plants or fungi with their own flavor dice. For every hope spent, roll a d12 to see what flavor you find. Sweet, salty, bitter, sour, savory, weird. Every roll's a gamble. And yes, Fun Grill, every mushroom probably has an opinion about being picked. Some rare ingredients have special features. Dire Gazelle Skull Marrow gives you a +1 agility until your next rest. Holy Cow Milk gives you a bonus when you're down to your last die in a cook-off. Ghost Scorpion Venom is spicy. If you match an 8 or higher, you can't clear stress with the meal. There are even ingredients that are deadly raw. Your GM will be rolling up something on the quick ingredient generator. You found a translucent secretion that must be prepared in a strange way, or it's deadly when consumed raw. Bon appetit! GM advice in running a session 0. Running Beast Feast. Here's the secret sauce. Describe everything through food. The cave is the color of honey. The tunnel sludge is as thick as molasses. Every NPC has a food pun name if you want it. Go wild. Give the adventure purpose. Sure, fighting and cooking is fun, but make sure there are goals. Find the lure, save Elmore, or beat your rival party to that delicious angler squid eye. Personal conflict is key. Throw in rival delvers, ingredient scarcity, or a cooking contest at Berries. You want the party bickering over recipes as much as fighting monsters. Ask Session 0 questions. What does your character miss back in Elmore? What dish from their home do they crave? Why did they leave the village? What rumor about the caves keeps them up at night? What favor would they ask the mayor if they saved the day? Build those connections. Half the fun is what happens outside the kitchen. So that's Beast Feast, where every monster is a mystery box, every rest is a cook-off, and every recipe is a team memory you actually write down at the table. Will you become culinary legends, or go down in history as the fools who tried to make acid dragon salad without gloves? There's only one way to find out. Gather your friends, sharpen your spatulas, and take the plunge. And remember, in the Plover Caves, the biggest danger is an empty stomach. If you like this guide, hit subscribe. Tell me your weirdest fantasy recipe in the comments. Stay spicy, adventurers.